prosecution in the Dominique Strauss-Kahn case has asked the judge to drop all charges against Dominique Strauss-Kahn, and the judge has accepted that offer. Now, the case has been completely dropped. He will return to his townhouse in Manhattan.
All right. Now, the reason they dropped it is because there were a great number of questions as to the veracity of the maid involved.
Right. The maid apparently had several inconsistencies in her story. She had originally claimed that he forced her to perform oral sex, and then after she
spit it out?
Yeah, spit it out.
In the sink?
In the sink. There was no DNA evidence of that.
Right. Here's a bunch of problems. First, they say there's no DNA evidence under her fingernails to show that she fought him off. But you know what? Maybe she didn't fight him off that way. To me, that's not necessarily convincing, right? But at least it's one piece of evidence. Second of all, she did have ripped pantyhose and some redness, but they say that could have been from something else. We don't know. Mm-hmm. It depends on whether she's making up the story or not, right? But the DNA not existing in the sink was a big problem.
It was,
right?
Yes.
Because that shows that her story doesn't match up, because she's like, that's where it is. They go to find it and it's not there, right? So that's a big problem, but that's not the only problem. It turns out that in her application to immigrate here, to get asylum here, she had made up a story about being raped. And she said that she had been gang raped back in her home country, etc. Now, there's no DNA evidence, and she's made up a previous story about being raped. Okay, we're in a lot of trouble. But I thought actually the last piece of evidence really put it over the top.
About her lying about being gang raped in the past?
No, about the
lack of DNA evidence in the sink?
No, all that is bad. One more was, she said that she immediately reported the rape to her boss because she'd just been sexually assaulted. But it turns out in reality, she actually cleaned the rest of his room, then went and cleaned another room, and then reported it to the boss. Okay? When you put all of that together.
You know, for some reason, that's not the thing that put me over the edge at all. I think the lack of DNA evidence in the sink is the most important aspect of the story. That's the number one inconsistency, right? To me, personally, because you never know. She could have been in shock at that moment. She probably didn't know how to deal with it or what to do. And some people, when they don't know what to do, like they might clean or they might do something while they're getting their head together and then report it to her boss. So you never know how someone might react right after being allegedly raped. Right?
No, I totally agree with you. Mm-hmm. If it was only that, then I say, look, again, you don't know. There is no rule book on how you behave against such a terrible assault. You're probably incredibly dazed, etc. And might you forget what you did, or might you be embarrassed that you didn't report it immediately and you cleaned 2 rooms? That's why you lie about it, etc. But all 3 of those things, all 4 of those things, actually, when you put it all together, within that context, you begin to get a sense of like, I don't know. First of all, is this person's testimony going to stand up in court to convict someone? Oh, there's no way it's going to. Second of all, do you even believe them? And that's what was the interesting part. The prosecutors basically said, we simply just can't believe her anymore. Mm-hmm. And that she's made up so many stories and refuses to acknowledge that she made them up. And it became overwhelming, and we think we had to take this action. So
now all criminal charges have been dropped against Dominique Strauss-Kahn, but he is still facing a civil lawsuit that has been filed by the maid. So let's see what happens during the civil lawsuit. At this point, I don't think that there's any point in even pursuing that, but we'll see.